And just like that, you return, not with flowers, not with apologies, but with echoes behind your steps. Welcome back, my beautiful disasters, wolves in human form, you who were labeled reckless, unstable, too intense for a world built on pretending. Now look at you, a living doctrine, a walking seminar in destruction. The last thing you did, that wasn't chaos, that was curriculum. The Pentagon studies it, Putin respects it, and hell now wears your blueprints like armor. You moved like madness had a strategy, like pain had a plan. They thought you broke protocol, you wrote new ones. What they called rage is now being taught as reconnaissance under pressure. What they labeled vengeance is now being dissected as a model in psychological warfare. You didn't lash out, you launched. And now nations study the silence between your words, because it carried more threat than most wars. You didn't raise your voice. You raised the dead parts of yourself, sharpened them, and set them loose on a world that underestimated you. They'll never understand the precision of what you did, because it looked like madness, but it was method. Because it looked like rebellion, but it was revenge, sculpted like art. You don't just react anymore. You respond with mastery. You don't just move. You calculate consequences, 10 steps ahead, no matter the casualty count. They tried to destroy you emotionally, and now they're being studied in conferences as case studies of miscalculated threats. You didn't become colder. You became clearer. You didn't lose yourself. You found the version of you that doesn't flinch, that doesn't forgive, that doesn't forget. You became a system of retaliation that even generals whisper about. The way you moved that day, they talk about it in war rooms, not just what you did, but how you did it. The silence, the posture, the aftermath, even the ashes you left behind told a story too organized to be coincidence. You weren't reckless, you were writing doctrine, and they were too busy laughing to notice the warning signs. Now look at them, pale, quiet, studying, asking questions like, how did he do it? How did we not see it coming? Because you didn't announce your plan, you let the outcome speak for itself. And oh, it spoke. It screamed. It burned through timelines and ruined assumptions. It rewrote the entire war book. Now it's archived, filed under. What happens when a threat becomes intelligent? What happens when pain becomes productive? What happens when silence gets strategic? That last thing you did? Yeah, it's in textbooks now. And your name? They don't say it out loud anymore. Not because they forgot it, but because it rings too loud in their heads. Because you've become a curriculum in consequences, a syllabus in scars, a lecture in loss. Your enemies now use your name in examples of what not to provoke. And while they're busy teaching what you did, you're already 10 moves ahead, preparing the next one. You didn't survive, you evolved. You didn't retaliate, you educated. You don't move for claps, you move for closure. You don't rise for redemption, you rise to leave marks they can't erase. You are no longer the story, you are the thesis, the reference, the damn blueprint, not just of vengeance, but of excellence under rage. So let them frame your name, let them cite your scars, let them write papers and speak in panels. Because the truth is, they feared you when you were emotional. But now you've turned that emotion into precision. You've become an international case study in don't push too far. Welcome back, and thank you for your last lesson. The world has been learning ever since. And your next chapter won't be a warning. It'll be a masterpiece. And as the world leans in, gripping notebooks, rewinding footage, scanning shadows for signs of your next step, you walk past it all, calm, unbothered, composed like a storm before its encore. Because while they're still processing your past strike, You're already blueprinting the next blow. Not in rage, but in rhythm, not in fury, but in finesse. You don't need fire in your eyes anymore. Now the chill in your stare is colder than any flame they've ever feared. They call in specialists now, psychologists, analysts, strategists, trying to decode the enigma that is you. But the truth? You can't decode divine retaliation. You don't fit in a report or a metric. You are an aftermath with intention. The air changes when you enter a room, not because you're loud, but because silence chooses you as its favorite weapon. You've become prophecy in motion, every step a trigger, every pause a puzzle, every word a calibrated earthquake. And they still think they can manage you, control you, predict you. They forgot. You were born in the data they ignored, raised in the chaos they tried to contain, forged in the heat they underestimated. Now your existence alone is a reminder that not all storms scream. Some arrive dressed in SE,